It was a rainy Monday morning when the police walked into Crestwood High School with grim expressions and handcuffs in their hands. Students froze. Teachers whispered. And in the center of it all, Mr. Thomas Granger, the quiet, kind-hearted history teacher known for staying late to help students, was led away in handcuffs. The news spread like wildfire. One of Crestwood's students, 17-year-old Lily Porter, had been found dead in a wooded area just outside town, and the man arrested for her murder was her favorite teacher. The headlines were merciless. Beloved teacher charged in gruesome murder. Trust betrayed. Student dead, teacher jailed. But if you'd asked any of his students, especially the quiet ones, the kids who sat alone at lunch, or the ones with bruises too old to be recent, they would have told you one thing. Mr. Granger never hurt anybody. Still, the case seemed airtight. A scarf belonging to Lily was found in the trunk of his car. He had no alibi for the night she disappeared. His phone had pinged near the woods. The school turned its back on him. Parents protested. His home was vandalized. His reputation destroyed. And yet, one person refused to believe the story. Her name was Kara James, and she was a quiet, observant senior who rarely spoke in class, except when Mr. Granger called on her gently, never pushing, always patient. She sat in the back row, kept her head down, and had a memory like a camera lens. She remembered everything, especially the things others overlooked. And something about Lily's murder didn't add up. Lily had been her lab partner. They weren't close, but Kara knew her patterns. Knew that Lily had been dating someone secretive. She used to sneak glances at her phone and smile, typing furiously before hiding it when teachers passed. Kara remembered seeing a text pop up one day when Lily dropped her phone. "You shouldn't be texting me here." Remember the deal. The sender's name was hidden, but Kara remembered the initials, RS. When Lily disappeared, no one mentioned that text. No one asked about her phone. And Lily's parents? They'd said she hadn't been seeing anyone. But Kara had seen the truth. And she wasn't going to let Mr. Granger go down for a crime he didn't commit. While the prosecution built their case in the courtroom, Kara built hers in silence. She skipped lunch, stayed late in the school library, and scoured every corner of Lily's online presence. Her Instagram, her deleted tweets, her cloud backups. And then she found something. A photo, blurry, unassuming, but in the background, a black car with a license plate she recognized. It belonged to Ryan Stokes, the school's assistant principal. He was known for his charm, his connections, the way he smiled just a little too long at the younger teachers. Ryan had mentored Lily for her college applications. He often called her into his office. Too often. Kara's stomach turned. She remembered now. Lily crying in the bathroom one afternoon, red-eyed, shaking. Kara had said nothing, walked away. But now it all came crashing down. She dug deeper, and what she found made her blood run cold. Deleted emails, secret social profiles, a hidden second phone line registered to Ryan's name, messages, photos, payments, all connected to Lily. Kara knew what she had to do, but no one would believe her, not unless she had undeniable proof. So she did something reckless. She hacked the school's faculty database and pulled old access logs. The night Lily disappeared, Ryan's faculty badge had opened the side gate to the school, the same one that led to the forest trail. She copied the logs, the messages, the photos, everything. She printed it all and walked into the courthouse during the third day of the trial. As the judge was about to dismiss court for the day, Kara stood up in the gallery. "Your Honor," she said, voice shaking but steady, "I have evidence that proves Mr. Granger's innocence." Gasps echoed through the courtroom. The judge looked stunned. The bailiff moved to intervene, but the judge raised a hand. "Let her speak." Kara walked forward, holding the folder in both hands like a lifeline. The defense attorney rushed to review it. The prosecutor demanded a recess. What followed was one of the most dramatic turns in Crestwood's legal history. Kara's evidence was undeniable. The messages alone told a story of manipulation, blackmail, and obsession. It was Ryan Stokes who had been in a secret relationship with Lily. It was Ryan who had threatened her when she tried to end things. and it was Ryan who had lured her into the woods that night. Security footage later recovered from a nearby gas station showed his car parked on the shoulder. Just minutes from the location Lily's body was found. The scarf in Mr. Granger's car, it had been planted. The phone ping, spoofed using a relay device, something Ryan had ordered months ago. By the end of the week, Ryan Stokes was arrested and charged with Lily Porter's murder. And Thomas Granger? He walked free, tears in his eyes, as students lined the courtroom steps cheering his name. But something changed in Kara that day. Something that couldn't be undone. She had seen how fast truth could be buried, how easily power could mask guilt, and how justice only came when someone refused to stay silent. In the weeks that followed, Kara gave her testimony. She met with Lily's parents. She helped Mr. Granger rebuild his name. The town praised her. But Kara didn't feel like a hero. Not really, because there was something no one else knew. Something she hadn't told the court. The night Lily died, Kara had been near the woods. She had followed Lily after school, curious about her secret boyfriend. She had seen Ryan's car. She had seen Lily cry. She had turned away, and hours later, Lily was gone. Kara kept that secret buried. She told herself she was just a kid, that she didn't understand what she was seeing. But deep down she knew, and now someone else knew too, because one morning, weeks after the trial ended, Kara received an envelope in her locker. Inside was a single photo of her, standing at the edge of the woods, watching, and on the back, a note scribbled in red ink, "You should have stayed quiet." It had been 27 days since Ryan Stokes was arrested for the murder of Lily Porter. The town of Crestwood had returned to a cautious calm, its streets quieter, its people a little more paranoid. But for Kara James, the girl who cracked the case and saved an innocent man, peace never returned, because someone was watching her, and she knew it. It started with a photo in her locker, the one showing her standing at the edge of the woods the night Lily disappeared. The night Kara did nothing. She had told no one she was there. Not the police. Not the court. Not even Mr. Granger. She thought the guilt would fade with time. But the message on the back of the photo haunted her. You should have stayed quiet. That night, she didn't sleep. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper wind outside her window felt like a threat. She sat in bed, clutching her phone, checking the locks 3 times over. The next morning, she found another envelope, taped to her bike. This time, it was a USB drive. No label, no note, just cold plastic and silence. She plugged it into her laptop with trembling hands. One video file. She clicked. It was security footage, grainy, low resolution, from outside the school, dated March 17th, the night of Lily's death. It showed Kara walking behind Lily, stopping at the edge of the forest trail, watching, turning away. It was exactly what she had feared existed. Proof that she saw something and said nothing. But there was more. Second before the clip ended, another figure appeared on screen. It wasn't Ryan. The face was shadowed, but the outline tall, broad-shouldered, moving with intention. Kara paused the video, zoomed in. There was something in his hand, a hammer, and behind him, for just a second, another person stepped into frame. Not Lily, not Ryan, not Kara. Someone else had been there. Kara raced to the police station, the footage clutched in her hand. Detective Alvarez, the lead investigator on Lily's case, took one look at the video and froze. "We don't have this angle," he said quietly. "This wasn't from our security system." "Then where did it come from?" Kara asked. The detective looked uneasy. "This camera doesn't belong to the school. This looks like private surveillance." "Whose?" He didn't answer. The next day, Detective Alvarez disappeared. He didn't show up for work, didn't return calls. His badge and phone were found in his car outside the precinct, engine running, driver's door open, exactly like how Ryan's SUV was found the night he vanished before his arrest. The department called it stress-related, a burnout, but Kara didn't believe it, because 2 days later, a new video appeared in her inbox. It was from Detective Alvarez's email. There was no subject line, no message, Just a time-stamped clip from a hidden camera inside the police station's evidence room. It showed a man tall in a dark hoodie, opening a box labeled Lily Porter, case archive, and removing a folder. That folder contained the original reports from Lily's autopsy, the same reports that led to Mr. Granger's arrest. The man didn't take anything else. Just that, and the moment he turned around to leave, Kara saw his face, and her blood ran cold. The man in the video was Principal Howard Finch, the highest authority at Crestwood High, the man who had spoken at Lily's memorial, who had defended Ryan Stokes as a man of impeccable character, the same man who had personally recommended Mr. Granger for investigation when the case first opened. Kara thought she knew what evil looked like, but she never expected to find it behind a clipboard and a school ID badge. She took the footage to the local news station, but hours after her interview was recorded, the station suffered a mysterious technical breach. The footage was corrupted. The story never aired. And Kara? She came home that evening to find her bedroom door ajar. Nothing was stolen, but on her pillow lay another note. Truth is dangerous. You already know what silence costs. Kara decided to confront Principal Finch directly. She returned to school that Friday, heart pounding, eyes scanning every hallway like it might swallow her whole. She waited until after the final bell. Then she approached his office. The door was unlocked, empty. She stepped inside and began filming with her phone. The office looked too clean. No papers on the desk. No photos. The walls were bare, save for a single painting of a forest, the same forest where Lily died. She walked behind the desk, opened the drawer, and froze. Inside was a burner phone, a folder of printouts, photos of Lily, of Kara, of Ryan, even Mr. Granger, and a journal. She opened the first page. She read, each line more disturbing than the last. It wasn't just about Lily. It was about others, other students, ones who had disappeared, transferred, or expelled under sealed records. There was talk of recruitment, testing loyalty, breaking silence. It wasn't just a murder. It was a system, a network, and Lily Porter had discovered it. That's why she died. That's why Ryan was silenced. And now Kara understood something even darker. Mr. Granger wasn't framed by accident. He was chosen. Kara's hands shook as she flipped through the pages. One final entry, dated 2 days ago, read, Kara James, resistant but clever, closely monitoring, unfit for recruitment, prepare closure. Just then, the office door creaked. Kara turned. Principal Finch stood in the doorway, smiling faintly. I was hoping you'd find it, he said. Kara backed up. You killed her? I protected something bigger, he replied. And now you're part of it too. Outside, the hallway was empty. Her phone still recorded. Kara ran. Later that night, a video was uploaded anonymously to the dark web. It showed Kara bruised, sitting in a dim room, her voice hoarse. If anyone sees this, I was right about everything. If I disappear, it wasn't an accident. The screen cut to black. Then a message appeared. They silenced Lily. They buried Ryan. They erased the detective. Now they've taken her. They said Kara James ran away. That she couldn't handle the fame. That she cracked under pressure. That she wasn't built to carry the weight of a murder trial, national headlines, and near-hero status. But those who knew Kara knew she didn't run. She fought. So when she vanished, the student of Crestwood High didn't believe the official story. Not after everything they'd seen. Not after Lily Porter. Not after Mr. Granger. Not after Ryan Stokes. Not after the note she left in her dorm drawer. If I disappear, don't believe them. They're still here. And it goes deeper than any of us thought. Kara had broken into Principal Finch's office and uncovered Project Eden, a series of disturbing files documenting the manipulation, grooming, and silencing of vulnerable students under the guise of mentorship and academic opportunities. The records hinted at something bigger than Finch. Multiple aliases, covert payments, code names for faculty members, missing students whose disappearances were covered up as transfers. Project Eden wasn't a person. It was a network. Finch wasn't at the top. He was a lieutenant. But before Kara could share what she'd uncovered, she vanished. Mr. Granger had moved away after his name was cleared. He tried to live a quiet life, far from Crestwood, teaching night classes at a community college under a different name. But when the news broke that Kara James was missing, he packed his bags and returned. He owed her his life. Now he was going to find hers. He visited the last place Kara was seen, the back hallway of Crestwood High, where a janitor claimed to hear a struggle. There was no security footage. The school claimed the cameras were under maintenance that day. But Mr. Granger didn't believe in coincidences anymore. He contacted Anna Lowry, a former teacher who had left Crestwood abruptly 2 years prior. She had once warned him that certain students were being watched. She never elaborated, but now Mr. Granger knew what she meant. Anna admitted she'd once been approached by Finch to mentor a student in exchange for a promotion. She declined. Weeks later, her classroom was vandalized, and she received anonymous threats. She left town without a word. Mr. Granger asked her a single question. "Did you ever hear about Project Eden?" Her face went pale. Anna gave Granger a name, Dr. Malcolm Wade, the former superintendent who had retired abruptly 6 years ago. It was under Wade's tenure that the recruitment files began. The payments, the psychological screenings disguised as college prep tests. Granger dug deeper. Wade now lived off-grid in a small cabin upstate. He traveled with no phone, no digital footprint, and paid for everything in cash. Granger drove 7 hours through rain and mud to find him. Wade answered the door with a shotgun. But when Granger said the words Project Eden, the old man's eyes filled with regret. "I tried to shut it down," Wade whispered, "but it wasn't just me running it. It started decades ago. We recruited the best, the broken, the brilliant, the quiet ones. We molded them for politics, for business, for control." Wade handed Granger a file, one final copy he'd kept. It contained names, photos, and locations. At the top of the file was Principal Finch, but buried halfway through was another name, Kara James. She wasn't just investigating Project Eden. She had been targeted for recruitment, but she resisted, and now they were going to reset her. Granger followed the trail to an abandoned boarding school outside of Pinehaven. It had been closed for structural reasons years ago, but recent activity showed someone had been restoring it. He waited until nightfall, slipped through a rusted fence, found a storm drain leading into the sublevels. Inside, he found what looked like a treatment center, white walls, cameras, soundproof rooms, and then a voice. "Mr. Granger?" It was faint, but unmistakable. Kara. She was in a padded room, her wrists bruised, her hair disheveled, but her eyes sharp. "I knew you'd come," she whispered. Granger picked the lock. She collapsed into his arms. "We have to get out. They're not far." But before they could escape, the lights cut out. A voice boomed over the intercom. "You were supposed to stay silent, Thomas. You were supposed to let the past die." It was Finch. He was there. Armed guards closed in. Granger held Kara close. "Stay behind me." Finch entered the room, gun in hand. "You don't understand what you're interfering with. Project Eden isn't about corruption. It's about survival. We choose the best. We eliminate the weak." "You murdered Lily," Granger said. Finch smirked. "Lily made a choice. So did Kara." Just then, a fire alarm blared. Smoke poured through the vents. Anna Lowry had triggered it from the outside. Granger had sent her the coordinates. In the chaos, Granger tackled Finch. The gun slid across the floor. Kara picked it up. Finch looked up at her. "You don't have it in you." Her hands shook. "I didn't, but you gave it to me." She fired once. In the leg. Finch screamed. Security fled. Granger and Kara ran. The facility was exposed. Media swarmed. Whistleblowers came forward. A federal investigation launched. More than 23 individuals were arrested, including educators, politicians, and donors. The records from Project Eden were declassified. The country was horrified. But most of all, people remembered the students. Lily Porter, Ryan Stokes, Detective Alvarez, and Kara James. For Kara, the scars remained, but so did the strength. She gave her first public interview 6 months later. When asked why she kept fighting, she simply said, "Because silence is where monsters hide." 1 year later, Kara received a letter. No name, no return address. Inside was a single photo. Lily, smiling, standing under the cherry tree behind the school. On the back was written, "She believed in you," and she was right. Kara smiled through tears. Justice had been served, but the work was only beginning. If this story gave you hope, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories where justice wins and courage changes everything. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and never stop believing in the power of truth.